Welcome back to E-Erotic the brand. Hi, my name is Eden Lee Middleman. I am your favorite dating and sex coach here on this channel, on the podcast. And today I have a very exciting video because I've been so not interested in talking about this topic. But I know that so many of you guys want information on how to take this friend of yours and become more than friends with this person. Disclaimer, because you guys know that I'm not going to give you a bullshit answer. It's better not to be friends with people that you want to be romantically involved with. Now, there are the cases where it's okay and it happens and it works out. There are the cases where both of you guys had the same game plan like two idiots and then it happened to work out. There are times where you don't really think you're into them and then you get to know them and then you are into them. But for the vast majority of people, women and men both put the other person in a box after a few encounters with them. They already know if they want to sleep with you, if they want to be friends with you, and that's it, or if they see something more, or at least are open to something more. So keep that in mind, all right? Like, you have the very first few interactions to really figure that shit out. Be present, be attentive. Don't be, juggling too many people on the sidelines, because that also distracts you from the moment and from actually figuring out, potentials that are actually in front of you versus potentials that are not. But we all know if we want to sleep with them or not, usually right off the bat, right? Like, that's pretty self-explanatory. Guys, for the most part, will be like, yeah, you know what, I'll do it. Let's be real, guys, okay? They'll pretty much sleep with almost anything if they have the chance to. I will give guys credit. They usually know where they see this person. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, no, could never date her. We'll fuck her and down to be friends with her. She's a fun time. Maybe she has other friends. That's kind of the mentality. Most guys are pretty good at figuring that out, like right off the bat. But let's say you spent way too much time lingering, you became friend zoned, and now you're trying to get out of the friend zone, essentially. How do I go from friends to more than friends? You have to limit how much casual interactions and conversations you are having. So if you text every single day, you're going to stop texting every single day. Will this jeopardize a friendship? Yes, but you trying to get out of the friend zone is always a risk of jeopardizing what you already have. Sometimes people think it's really just not worth it, so they need some space from being friends for a minute, then they go back in there with their head on right and being like, nope, no feelings. I cannot be around her or him when I have feelings. I just want this as a friendship thing because it's way too valuable for me to risk losing. Even if it does work out, I don't want to give it a shot. If we have like one argument, we have way too many friends that are like interconnected. It's just too complicated. So you rule that out. But regardless of how you go about this, you always need the space. You always need to distance yourself a little bit to really figure out A, how you truly feel, and B, stop the casual interactions from happening right off the bat. ASAP, the minute you realize that maybe I do want this as something more than just a friendship. Maybe I want to explore more. What you do when you distance yourself, and this is the very first thing you do, is you're telling them, okay, scratch what you're used to. It's going to shock the other person. They might reach out to you and be like, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? Like, you're acting weird. Nah. And that's when the door banged down, wide open. You're there, basically butt naked with your feelings. And now it's your chance to state the obvious. If you figured out that you like them, now you got to say it. So if they reach out and they're like, yo, you've been acting weird, or you've been distant, or if you want to be the first one to say that, then you just say, hey, listen, I'm starting to gain feelings towards you, and I'm not really sure how that might make you feel. I do respect our friendship, but because of my feelings, I need you to know this. And because you guys are already friends, you can approach it like this. You can approach it really like straight off the bat, dick on the table. I actually love this approach because here's the thing. If you value your time, if you're a self-respecting person, it is actually a very respectable way of going about being like, hey, I have feelings, letting you know, which is me doing my part for myself, but also doing my part as a friend, right, to you, being transparent with you. Why are you guys friends? You guys trust each other. You have some history. You have some mutual friends. You've gone through thick and thin, perhaps. So why wouldn't you be straight up with how you feel about this person? Why would you waste time? Why would you break your own heart and then maybe break their heart in the process? Just don't waste your fucking time. You guys are such children when it comes to this. Like, I have grown-ass people messaging me being like, how do I become more than friends? You got to state that you want to become more than friends. You dropping little fucking breadcrumbs, expecting somebody who's so used to being friends with you and like expecting them to stop and like investigate the breadcrumbs on the floor is kind of absurd, right? Like you're asking for too much here. You're asking for somebody to be a mind reader, right? That's not fair. Okay. If you value this person, as a friend, then you will be transparent with them. If you struggle being transparent and this other person finds out, that also will throw a really weird, awkward vibe in the friendship, even more so than you coming out straight up and saying, hey, I have feelings for you. A lot of you guys are scared to say, hey, I have feelings for you because you think that that's going to ruin your friendship. But you think hiding amongst the shadows of your feelings and dropping breadcrumbs is going to be more beneficial? No, it's going to make them think something entirely different. Like if you guys have been friends for so long, all of a sudden you're acting weird, you're distancing yourself, this person's gonna be like, what's going on? You're gonna think all kinds of things that's going to jeopardize the foundation of your friendship, which could be a good foundation for a relationship. Not always though, okay? Not always. Once you've taken some space away from daily casual interaction, stop hanging out with them casually, stop like texting them casually, start being intentional. After you stated how you feel, and let's say they are open to it, that is when you start to transition into how would you date somebody at the beginning. Yeah, you will have to take a few steps back. You know, you guys are so comfortable with each other and whatever, but you do have to put that formal romantic lens on for just a bit till you guys are in somewhat of a groove. It is an adjustment period. It is not going to feel like the friendship that you once had. That's the truth. I think that's why a lot of you guys romanticize being friends first and then getting into a romantic relationship, because you think it's going to be the same thing, but just the benefits of a relationship, sex, and oh my God, like they know me so well, they understand me so well, and like, great, it's everything I'm looking for in a partner. I speak to so many people who say they want to be friends with their partner. My best friend is my fiance. Okay, my best friend knows everything. I bitch and complain. I tell him the drums. Like, he knows everything. Okay, he is my best friend. But he wasn't my best friend at the beginning. And that's how we were able to uphold certain boundaries. He is a man. We're not ruining the romance with one another. We came in with a serious lens. You know, he doesn't shit with the door open because we want to keep the romance alive till this very day. Like we have those boundaries that are important to us that keep the romance alive. So now we can be friends, but there's a line. He's not going to tell me, oh, shut up, or like not in the mood to hang out or whatever, because we're in a serious relationship, right? Like it's a little bit different. You're not going to be as casual. That's why when you remove casual interactions, when you state how you feel so that nobody gets it twisted, so that you can get an answer right away, yes, no, or let's give it a shot, then you're on to this phase where now you are dating, right? When you start dating, you go on dates. They're a little bit more formal. You can laugh about it and be like, hey, this feels so weird. I know that like we're used to being like friends and whatever, but obviously like I have feelings for you as more than a friend, and I just want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for a relationship rather than just like friends with benefits. And right, the advantage here is that you know the person, so you know what they like and what they don't like. Zoom in on what they like. You know, now you can do things that have a little bit more romantic underlying feel to them, right? These dates have to be scheduled, even if you know their schedule. You have to ask. You have to do these things at the beginning, at least, to show that you're serious, to show that it is moving out of the friend zone and moving into a romantic zone. There are two different zones, two different rooms, two different buildings, goddammit. And you need to get used to that. Don't fall back on comfort because you guys were once friends. Again, that happens to a lot of people who go from friends to relationships. You like the comfort until you realize that the comfort isn't what is necessary and honestly what is needed in relationships. When you are too comfortable, your relationship is no longer a relationship, it's a friendship. So you're trying to become serious with this person, but then you're falling back into the friendship zone. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then what happens is you get frustrated with yourself, with your new partner, potential new partner, and then the whole thing goes to shit, your friendship and your relationship. Now, for the most part, if you are taking the leap and risking this friendship for a relationship, you have to understand that that might be the end of the friendship right there, okay? So some people will feel like they need to mourn that, or like they'll feel upset if it doesn't work out in the relationship realm. You feel like you need to be certain in order to jump into the relationship realm. No, you just have to be truthful to yourself and truthful to your friendship. The friendship was supposed to run its course up until a certain point. You tried, now you know the answer, so you're not going to sit in the what ifs for the rest of your life and then be a bitter friend when they start dating other people. So it is super important to state how you feel. It is super important to give that space to even stop the friendship if need be for the meantime, you know, and then pick it up where you left off if that's what you need, so that you don't become a bad friend, right? When feelings are involved, it complicates a friendship. It's not usually possible unless you're lying, hiding, and being a shitty friend. So, I mean, and then therefore you're not really a friend, right? You have to start going on dates. You have to start acting like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So you can still be that person that's supporting your other friend, but you also have to understand how to, that you're going to need your own set of friends to talk about this relationship with sometimes. So like, although my Max is my fiance and he's my best friend, I'm not going to talk to him about certain things that maybe is about our relationship to him unless I feel like it's productive. Sometimes you need to go to your girlfriends or your guys and just like not necessarily have a vent session per se, but something of the sorts, right? Where you're talking about it, you're asking for advice if you need, or you're just getting a reality check from people that you trust, things like that. So you're going to have to find that person for you now as well. There's a lot of moving parts when you move from friends to relationships. And that is why I'm not trying to sell you guys on it, because the reality is there's not much to sell. It is a higher risk. Is it a higher reward? Yes and no. You still lose that friend that you can tell everything to, because now when you get into a romantic relationship with them, you can't necessarily tell them everything, right? And what did you guys talk about? A lot of times it was relationship things. A lot of times it was, you know, whatever. And that is why I believe that friends cannot be platonic friends. Like boy, girl, if you are heterosexual male or heterosexual female, I really don't think that the platonic shit works, okay? It, like I've said about friends with benefits in the past, it is like expired milk, you know what I mean? Like once it hits a certain time, it's got to go, it's done. Like you can't really do much about it. When you have feelings, even if you shut up about it and don't do anything about it, or if you do something about it, regardless, there will be an end date to that friendship, okay? Yes, it might mean you're leveling up to a relationship, but you still lose a friend. Does that make sense? I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. I'm not going to give you guys tips and tricks of like, do this, be more touchy, be more affectionate. You know, that's weird, right? Imagine you have a friend that you look at as a friend. You've already told your brain for so many years or months or whatever, we're friends, that's it. And you've been out dating and looking for a relationship elsewhere because this is a friend. Friends are off limits, right? And then suddenly they start to feel some type of way about you and they're starting to do all these moves, but they haven't told you. And now you're confused because you're like, I know this person knows we're friends, but are they getting feelings? Are they not? Now you're making this other person feel uncomfortable. So to all the cool girls and cool guys who think that being friends first is a smart move, I'll tell you it's absolutely not. It is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Has it worked out sometimes for some people? Sure. But a lot of times when you become the friend first, what usually happens is they use you for the friends and all of that stuff, and you get like a little hit of excitement because you're like, I get to be closer to them. I get to know the ins and outs of them. But then when you realize you can't control your feelings anymore, they're kind of grossed out by being more than just friends with you because they've already been so vulnerable in a way that they don't want their romantic partner to know about or have seen. When I met my fiance, I was not looking for a friend, okay? And I made that my mission. I'm not looking for a friend. And trust me, I have enough friends. I don't need more. I don't care to have more. I'm good. And so I think a lot of guys usually do that when they get nervous or when they're shy. They try and go the friendly route. When you approach people, it's good to have that mindset of being friendly so that rejection doesn't hurt as bad and it doesn't come across as too much or too creepy, right? Come in a little bit more friendly than romantic, hey baby, you know what I mean? But when you are already past that intro stage, you immediately have to start putting those boundaries down, have to start placing those puzzle pieces down so they can start picking it up and understanding, right? Otherwise, if you're too friendly, like I said, it's so hard to like fuck your like brother. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, he's like my brother. Like, you know, and that's how a lot of girls view guys. Guys can easily, I think, switch that off and fuck, but doesn't mean that they're going to want to date you. They might know too much about you. They might have seen you in the dating world. They might not like you like that. And that's possible too. It's rare, but it's possible, okay? My questions to you are when people come to me and say, how do I become more than friends? Why did you become friends in the first place? Okay, oopsie. And did you really think that boys and girls can be friends, platonic friends? No. At one point, somebody is going to, oh my God, getting drunk or, whatever, and like fuck the other person, or, oh my God, I'm dating somebody, the person gets a little jealous. Like, it gets weird, okay? I don't buy it, and I still stand behind platonic friends are absolute BS. Very, very rare. I do have, and me being the person that says, like, I don't believe in it, I do have guy friends, but the minute I got into a relationship, a serious relationship, they push themselves away. Because, I mean, we all knew if we wanted to, we would, you know what I mean? It was easy being friends. Did we sleep around? Did we want to pursue each other right away? No, but there's that sexual tension sometimes. There's that, they would if I allowed it or if I wanted to or whatever. 100%. And so the minute I got into a serious relationship, they pushed themselves away out of respect to me and my relationship, because that's when they decided, okay, you know what? I respect her and her relationship, and I don't want to fuck that up for her. I'm happy for her. So those are true friends that are guys. They keep distance, not to, get in the way or complicate a relationship, because they care for me. They don't know Max. They don't care about Max, I'm sure. Like, but that's what they did immediately. I didn't have to tell them that. So that just goes to show to me, even if you do have friends that are, opposite sex, the sex that you're attracted to, and it is friendly, it has been friendly all those years, there are certain circumstances and situations where the dynamic of that friendship will inevitably change or get weird or get different or get colder or get, more distance. So don't get into that friendly bullshit, okay, with the sex that you're attracted to right away. I would always say go on a date first and then become friends. That's such a better story in the long term. The chances of that being a better friendship and working out in a positive way is much higher, right? So when you go on a date first, or you try and use it as more of a romantic hook, and then realize, you know what, I feel like we'd make like good friends. Maybe we should just not do the dating thing. Like, I'd love to hang out with you in like a more casual setting. Like, maybe let's like bring your girls, my guys, like let's chill. Let's, go to this thing. Like, you have the same hobbies. Like, great. Fuck. Okay, great. We're friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so much more casual. And you can tell when you go on first dates if you don't have that like sexual heated chemistry. And then you can become friends from that if you want to. So for me, it's just like, guys, you have to, this has been engineered all wrong. Do it differently. Do it differently to save yourself the headache of all of this shit. However, if you are in this predicament, I've given you my advice. Keep it simple. There's really not much else you can do. Anybody else that tells you otherwise, in my opinion, is just giving you bullshit like hope and like tips and tricks, 5 ways to make them like fall in love with you. Like, oh my God. Like, you're this, like, again, you guys are buying into such low level bullshit. Everybody is different. Every dynamic is different. This is the general thing you should be doing that makes you seem like you respect yourself, you respect your friends, and you want to give this a fair shot, but you're also not shooting yourself in the goddamn fucking leg, dick, vagina, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty, hey, got feelings for you. Let's give this a try. If you're down, if you're not down, totally cool. I need my space. And I'll see if I can like put those feelings aside and come back. If that's okay with you, like, just give me, like, it's nothing personal. I just want to be upfront because I don't want to jeopardize this friendship if I can like move on from my feelings and then come back correct. That's totally normal. These are conversations that as friends, you guys should be able to have, you know what I mean? And if you can't have that, are you really friends? Thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this episode. Make sure you give this video on YouTube a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me out a lot so you don't miss any more of these episodes that you obviously need. And hit the bell for the notification so you know when I'm actually uploading, so you're the first to eat this all up, okay? And then go ahead and share it with your friends and family who need it too, because I know they do. They're in my DMs, okay? If you're listening to the podcast, rate it 5 large and in charge stars, because you guys know how much that really does help me and the brand and us and everything that we're doing. For those that don't know, I also have a vlog channel, which I've been like really committed to. I am pregnant and I'm going through this journey. It's a lot more vulnerable. It's a lot more lifestyle-y. If you're into that, if you're not, totally cool. But I'll leave the link to that channel down below. It's fairly fresh, fairly fun, okay? But if not, just stay here. We'll see you back here. Okay? Don't worry. I'll be back. Bye, guys.